What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today I am here to answer a question that I've been posing for a while. I've been telling you that OP-09 was the second anniversary set in the same way that OP-05 was the first anniversary set. And I've been telling you that OP-09 is gonna be special, and I've been telling you I don't know how. But as soon as I do know, I'm gonna tell you. Well, now we have at least part of the answer, so I'm here to tell you. But I do, just for a second, I would like to point out that I'm recording this at midnight in a hotel in Tokyo. I'm supposed to be having a nice 3-day break in Tokyo before I head to the Pokémon World Championships next week. I'm not supposed to be doing any videos today. Tomorrow I'm going to do one on the ban list, but I'm not supposed to be doing any videos today. But this is pretty big news, so I had to wait until I got back to the hotel. But yeah, it's midnight in Tokyo, and I'm sitting here recording this video so you guys can know all about what's going on for the One Piece TCG. And we'll get to the fact that there's 4 manga rares in the set in a minute. Yeah, they've literally upped OP-05 again, but there's a new type of card. There is a new type of card that we've never seen before. Well, here's all 3 versions of Goldie Roger. Yeah, that's right, Roger's finally made its way into the One Piece TCG. We've got the regular, we've got the alt art, and then, let's face it, we're all just going to call it the Golden Manga, aren't we? Like, they can give whatever name they want to the actual card. We're all just going to call it the Golden Manga. Let's not pretend anything else. So, we've got a new Golden Manga card, and there's going to be a bunch of questions here, and they're questions I cannot answer, because I don't know. People are going to want to know what the pull rates are going to be like, and the answer is, I don't know. Is it going to be rarer than manga? If I had to guess, I'd say probably about as rare as manga. That would be my guess here. But remember when Treasure Rares started in OP-06 for us, we thought they were going to be about as rare as manga rares, and certainly some people were paying money for the Nami in OP-06, like that might turn out to be the case. And it wasn't the case. But these are golden manga rares. So, like I say, we don't know what the pull rates and these are going to be like. We do have to take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt here. But make no mistake about it, this is going to be an extremely sought after card. What does the card actually do? Oh yeah, no, the card is like broken. Just to be clear, the card is absolutely ridiculous. You see, what the card does is we've got 10 cost, 13,000 power. Yes, we're used to the big guys being 10 cost, 12,000 power. It's 10 cost, 13,000 power, which is absurd. And it's got rush, so you can attack with it the turn you play it, which is a little bit ridiculous. And then it's got another skill. And it says, when your opponent activates blocker, if you or your opponent has 0 life remaining, you win the game. Just if one player's got 0 life remaining and your opponent activates blocker, you win. It does not say in response to this character's attack or when this character attacks if your opponent activates blocker. No. It is if this is on board and your opponent activates blocker, when one of you has 0 life remaining, you win the game. That's a little bit ridiculous. Now, there are some things to point out here. It's just going to change the way your opponent plays. They're going to use their blockers a bit more aggressively before one of you's down to 0 life. They're going to save some of their counters so they can do really big countering when one of you's down to 0 life. But bearing in mind, with no Don or anything attached, this is a 13k swing. Like, straight off the bat, it's a 13k swing with nothing else. So, you better believe this is not going to be an easy one to just counter out of continually, and they can't activate blocker. And some people have already pointed out, well, hang on a second, Red doesn't exactly struggle going from 0 life to 1, as into winning the game, so maybe you don't really need it? Maybe it is a little bit overhyped, but it's an alternate win condition, which is ridiculous. It's 13,000 power, which is ridiculous. Like, if nothing else, it's a 13k with rush, which is great. Sure, it's a 10 cost, but it kind of has to be. But, yeah, 13k with rush that can win the game if your opponent tries blocking when someone's got no life remaining. I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen. That seems a little bit busted. But there's then 4 actual proper manga rares, and of course, you know where we're going with this. It's OP-09. The set is the 4 Emperors set. Obviously, the mangas are the 4 Emperors. Back in OP-05, we had 3 manga rares of the worst generation. We had Kid, Luffy, and Law. Here, we've got manga rares of the 4 Emperors. And if we start with Shanks, this is an interesting one because Shanks has already had a manga. And yes, I know so has Luffy. We'll get there in a minute. But we've got a second Manga Shanks coming in here. And Manga Shanks is one of the more sought after, one of the most valuable mangas around. But you need to also look at that in the context of OP-01 was quite hard to get hold of. So the price of OP-01 has been somewhat artificially inflated by the fact that OP-01 was hard to get hold of. So yeah, I went into the One Piece store in Camden the other day in London. They had every set in stock except for OP-01. Maybe that explains it. But we do have a manga rare Shanks, and it is actually a Shanks that we've looked at before. What we've got here is 10 cost, 12,000 power. All of your opponent's characters get minus 1,000 power, and you get rush. So very comparable in some ways to Goldie Roger, except for the fact that you've got 1,000 less power, but all of your opponent's characters get a minus 1,000 power, which I said when we looked at this the other day was really good. I love the fact here that your opponent's now got to have an extra 1,000 to get through every attack. Every attack they put forward now has got to have 1,000 more. Every one of their blockers is 1,000 weaker. Love this. Think it's brilliant. Luffy's the other one that gets a manga rare, and it's the second manga rare Luffy. The first one is the most valuable, most popular manga we've had by a long shot. But then it's also worth pointing out that that is Gear 5 Luffy. And I do think that that is an important point here. I do think the fact that it's Gear 5 Luffy makes a bit of a difference. And I think the fact that it's Gear 5 Luffy is going to push it up above this one. Could be wrong, but I'm just putting it out there. I think this is cool. Then we've got ourselves a skill, which is on play, you may return as many Don from your field to your Don deck as you like. 1 or more is what it actually says. So it's got to be at least 1 is my point. And then you draw a card, and this character gains rush. Nice, honestly. Now, the whole 1 or more is basically, if you want to use Luffy's skill, you put 2 back. And remember, Leader Luffy's skill gets you 1 back active and 1 back rested when you put 2 or more back into your deck. So essentially, putting 2 rested Don into your deck with Luffy's skill essentially means you just activate one of your Don, which is clearly great. But if you're not using that skill, because remember, there are a lot of cards that want to use Luffy Leader's skill, and it's only once per turn. So if you're not using Leader Luffy's skill, it's Don -1, draw a card, and you gain rush on a 9k, 10,000 power. I mean, yeah, that seems good. Honestly, this just seems kind of good. I don't think we've seen the regular version of this yet. I think this is a new card that we're actually just looking at for the first time here. Let me know if I'm lying about this, but I'm having a bit of a look round, and I don't think we've seen the purple Luffy character so far from this set. So whereas like with the Shanks, we saw the character previously, here we have not. Another one which is brand new is the new Buggy, and it's also one that works beautifully with the leader. And I like Buggy, and I don't really like this manga rare, and that makes me sad. Love the idea of a Buggy manga rare. Don't like this particular manga rare. Now, I think this is, again, a brand new card. And now I've done the new translations myself, but I have checked with OnePieceTopDecks.com. Delighted to say I did have them all, which I'm very proud of myself for. And we got a 10 cost, 12,000 power. Yeah, these are big dudes. And on play, return up to one of your opponent's characters to the bottom of the deck. And then if you do not control 5 characters with a cost of 5 or more, return this character to the bottom of your deck. Now, remember the Buggy leader at this point. Very, very important. Because what the Buggy leader does is activate main, rest 5 Don, trash a card from your hand, play a cross-skilled type card from your hand. So here you can essentially play this as a 5 cost with your Buggy leader. Now you will always get to just pop one of your opponent's characters to the bottom of their deck. And phrasing here is important, it's one of their characters. Not one of their characters with this cost or below or any of that. No. Just one of your opponent's characters. Any character will do. But then if you've got 5 or 4 plus Buggy, 5 cost or more on the board, then you actually get to keep it, which is nice. And bearing in mind, it's not as arduous as it might otherwise be, because in theory, once you've got 10'd on, you can just play a 5 cost and then use a leader skill to play an any cost cross guild. And yeah, the good news is the put it back to the bottom of your deck if you've blah blah blah. That is part of the on play skill. It's not a separate skill. So it's only when you play it that you have to have 5 cost or higher on the board. As soon as it's down and there, then you're good and you get to keep it. And then you got a 12k body just sitting there on the board doing good. That sounds alright to me. And then we finish off with Marshall D. Teach, and this is definitely not a new character. We have seen this one previously. And what we got here is a 10 cost, 12,000 power with blocker, and then activate main once per turn if your leader is Blackbeard Pirates, and if this character was played this turn. Up to one of your opponent's leader skills do not activate this turn, and then one of your opponent's character skills do not activate until the end of your opponent's turn, and that character cannot attack. Yeah, basically turns off leader skills on one of your opponent's characters for the turn, bearing in mind that we've already seen that the leader turns off on play skills, and yeah, there's quite a lot of control coming with Blackbeard. So we've got 4 manga rares, each of the 4 emperors is getting a manga rare, and we've got 3 different prints of Roger, including a gold manga rare. I told you that OP-09 was going to be a special set. I told you I couldn't tell you how, but I would when I could. Well, now I can. OP-09, I've been telling you guys since this was announced that you should be pre-ordering this when you can, because this was going to be a very good set. Because it wasn't some huge prediction, right? They out and out told us it was going to be the 2nd anniversary set, and I just went, well, OP-05 was the 1st anniversary set, so yeah, it's just going to be like that. There's going to be something in there that's particularly cool, and now they've gone and shown us that, yeah, there is going to be something in there which is particularly cool. But I've shown you it all now, so now it's over to you guys. Let me know in the comment section what you think about all of these. Tell me if you think Goldie Roger is in fact broken. Tell me what you think about these gold mangas. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Get us! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.